I've seen a lot of hate today on this announcement for Shield Hero Season 4, and I kind of want to talk about that because it is definitely a conversation I have seen mentioned so often on YouTube. Like, I've seen YouTube videos pop up in my subscription feed of people talking about, the rising of the Shield Hero has fallen off, to just seeing people say that Shield Hero is a shell of its former self or it's hot garbage, and I kind of want to discuss that. Has Shield Hero truly become hot garbage? And is it really as bad as people say? And is really nobody watching the show? Let's just dive all into these things. And, let's talk about, Season 4 since this is an announcement as well. So the first things first I want to talk about is this key visual. I don't know who is doing the key visual for Shield Hero, but they need a raise. They straight up need an absolute raise because they are doing so much justice for Shield Hero's anime. Every time a new season is announced, like, look, here's Season 2's announcement with its key visual to, like, Season 3, they go so hard in the paint. Like, this is just such a crazy key visual. Some might look at this and think it's not the best they've ever seen, but it's like when you think about this key visual and when you think about the season, it's like, yo, it's night and day. Like, I wish the whole anime could look as good as these key visuals. And one of the biggest complaints that these key visuals have caused the anime is actually that turtle in the background. Anyone that remembers the Shield Hero anime and has watched the Shield Hero anime beyond Season 1 knows about Season 2 of Shield Hero when it comes to the turtle arc, the spirit tortoise, and just how it was a slog. It was like wading through sludge to get through the first half of Season 2 to where we finally got to some kind of good, decent content for Season 2 in the later half. And the reason for a lot of complaints was because the key visual, basically, of Shield Hero had this turtle that looked really well detailed. There even was a trailer that kind of showed a detailed turtle and all that. And then you kind of find out when it does air, Season 2 did air, it was a fully CGI turtle, and it's just like, why? Why lie with the key visual and all that and just make it look outright like a PlayStation 1 or 2 game? And I feel like when that happened, there was a mass exodus of just vocal watchers of Shield Hero. When that happened, I noticed the overall popularity of Shield Hero kind of dipped, or at least the conversation around the series dropped around that. You had light novel readers saying that the arc was one of the worst arcs apparently within the original source. You had anime onlys not enjoying it or not understanding what was going on. I believe manga readers didn't like it as well. So it's just like the entire community effectively did not like the first half of Shield Hero Season 2. And I believe when, Shield Hero Season 2 was coming out, there was a lot of good anime around that season, so a lot of people probably just pushed it aside and watched other things instead of Shield Hero around that time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to talk about some things of the origin point of Shield Hero to kind of explain where we're at now with this announcement and why people are saying, like, Shield Hero has fallen off to begin with. Now, I personally don't think Shield Hero has fallen off, and the reason for that, I want to go to the popular section of Crunchyroll. So if you go here and you click, popular on Crunchyroll and you open it up, for their most popular anime on their site, their top 10 has Shield Hero. In the top 10, to put this in perspective, it's higher than Attack on Titan. It is more popular than Attack on Titan. And you can't say that this is kind of a rigged top 10 because JJK is here, which I think even if you don't like it, you can't deny the popularity of JJK. It's very popular. A lot of people love JJK. It being number 1 makes a lot of sense. Frieren is also crazy. The memes, the art, everything about it. I've seen so much about Frieren. Makes a lot of sense why it's here. One Piece is One Piece. Also makes sense. I mean, Shangri Law, that one shocks me. I did not know that many people was watching this series. Soul Leveling makes a lot of sense. It's one of the most beloved, webcomics of all time. Makes sense that the anime would be popping off. Berserk of Gluttony, shocked about that one. I did not know this was that popular as well. Spy Family, very popular. Speaks for itself. People love Anya. People love just, the very comfy feeling of Spy Family. And then you got Rising of Shield Hero, which is like above Dr. Stone, Goblin Slayer, Attack on Titan, 100 Girlfriends. Yeah, you kind of get the point. And so anyone that wants to say that Shield Hero apparently doesn't have any hype or popularity, just point them to this. Clearly, there is a lot of people still watching Shield Hero, despite the fact that you don't see as much conversation around it. So let's get into that. So basically, we gotta look at Season 1 of Shield Hero, where it all began, the origin story, so to speak. For instance, like when we all got into it for the first time. We gotta go back to the first episode. This first episode aired back in 2019, January 9th, and it's kind of crazy that we just recently passed the anniversary date of the first episode of Season 1's air. But, anyways, the first episode introduced us to this world, this fantasy world, and Naofumi was this very naive individual that was, just, I guess, done dirty. People, like, tried to twist things against him and say he did things he did not, and the entire story turned into a revenge plot. It was very engaging, and with the great art and animation to the amazing OST that really carried a lot of scenes, this really blew people away, and so people were excited to see if Naofumi would be able to get justice against just the injustice that was delivered on him, and it made so many people talk about this every single week. I know the community discussion was at an all-time high. So many people loved this series, and when the final episode rolled around, we got to episode 25 of Season 1, people were like, I need more. We were craving for more content. And to put in perspective when Season 1 aired, or the last episode of Season 1 aired, it was June 26, 2019. Now, the reason why this is very important is because when we take a look at Season 2 Episode 1 aired back in 2022 in April. So there is quite a few year gap between Season 1 and Season 2's air date. And so the overall hype and popularity of it might have dwindled in comparison to how it was before. Clearly, though, there is a lot of comments here and a lot of people were excited. You can see the excitement within, the actual comment section here. And this is not including other sites, etc., YouTube and all that. So people were excited for Shield Hero. But there was quite a bit of time gap. And because of everything going on within the anime community, but also in real world, I mean, think about 2019 to where 2022 was, a lot of things happened in the world, like COVID, etc. So there's a lot of things going on in people's minds at the time, and people's tastes and interests have changed. There was a lot of newcomers into anime after Demon Slayer's popularity, and thanks to the, everything with COVID, more people were watching anime, getting into anime, and not many people were probably watching Shield Hero over other things. So it's just like, when Season 2 finally, came around, people were excited to see where the story was going to go. And little did we know, it was very lackluster, as I said. It was not good, and it no longer had the plot about vengeance and Naofumi getting justice, because, he settled that back in Season 1. And so a lot of people felt like, what's the point of continuing the story when one of the big driving aspects that got him into even watching the series was no longer a part of the series. So you can kind of see there why some people just were no longer interested in Season 2 and onward. Now, this does not mean, though, that the series fell off or whatever, because as I already pointed out, the popularity alone speaks for itself. Clearly, people are watching the series. So what's going on? Why is there more people hating on Shield Hero and saying it's hot garbage, or it's a waste of time, or it's a money laundering, scheme? I've seen people say that as well. It's just like, when you factor all these things, why? Why are people saying this? Well, it's because I feel like most of the vocal people that talk about anime probably just stopped watching it because they just didn't care anymore, and there was other things to watch, while you have a very silent majority watching the series and discussing it. It's one of those rare instances to where there is a huge group of people watching Shield Hero, just they don't talk about anime vocally, probably a lot around the community, because I think that's the only reason for Shield Hero to be here. So, I don't know, it's kind of interesting, because people that say, why is it getting a continuation? Why is it getting a Season 3? Why is it getting a Season 4 so quickly? The popularity speaks for itself. And so, yeah, I mean, for those that are hating on Shield Hero, love it or hate it, it's clearly popular, and you can't deny that. I mean, statistically speaking, it speaks for itself right on the screen. There's no editing, nothing. You can check it for yourself. And so, yeah, Shield Hero has not fallen off according to what people have been saying, and it makes a lot of sense why it gets an anime over, let's say, No Game No Life or High School DxD. Makes a lot of sense. But I'll leave it at that. I wanted to talk about the subject because I saw a lot of, just debate around it, and wanted to kind of clear the air. But be safe, stay healthy, I love you guys, Chibi out.